All right, 1060 Pepper. Little view up the street. You see power back there. The length of this area. The other one is in between those two houses. Everyone's yards are well kept. Of course, it's part of the HOA. They have to be. What was a empty lot across the street when I looked at my kind of maps is no longer. You asked about the front yard being overgrown. I would say tremendously, but not awful. I mean, these big grass things, they just get big. Hard to say like what else is overgrown or needs attention. There's like a whole section in here that's like just empty. But yeah, definitely some plant trimming. Hard to see the front side of the roof really. I can tell that there's like a few nail pops. They probably won't show up in the video even. But I think whatever they did as like a sealant on it makes it look really good overall. If I hadn't known that they had sealed it, I would just say it's, you know, pretty typical looking roof. I don't know. I think the nail pops in the back are a little more obvious. But like there's some right around there. But just kind of hard to see too much on the roof overall. Paint, trim, fascia seems just fine. I didn't really notice any peeling paint. It's due to be repainted probably in the next 2 years. Garage door looks okay. So we go up to the front entry. Kind of really dark little alcove. Your plants are overgrown, so they're touching the roof there. You wouldn't want that. You need to trim those. But really cute little like courtyard, stucco wall, hose bib. They've done a lot of things. We're going to talk about windows kind of a lot, but a lot of the things that you might see as we're going through is like they put these films over all of them. Not all of them, but a lot of them maybe. I'm not sure that those are always good for the windows. From what I've heard, they help to like degrade them quicker. But we'll walk in. So like orange door, they have the ring, but it's like detachable. As far as I can tell, the flooring was all the same for this laminate. It does kind of look different in different lighting. One thing I'll say is you walk in and it just feels kind of dark. There's no natural light that comes in. Whatever would have come in from that backside, they've built the patio over. These windows don't really allow for anything. No real windows in the kitchen, and then the ones that they have are like darkened. So it just kind of feels dark when you walk in. You had asked about like this brick stuff. It is like a plasticky layer, but it's like raised. It's just nailed on, kind of tacked on. I did find this interesting, that whatever this accent is, they have like painted red glitter onto it. So that's cute. Otherwise, I'll try and point out as many as I can as we go through about paint, but there's lots of areas where they've just kind of like touched up paint. You can tell that they had pictures here and they thought the right thing to do was, you know, put a little dab of the same color on, but really all that does is make your walls look like camouflage colored. I don't know if you can see it well, but it's pretty much all the walls, all throughout, and high and low. So it's also for like scuff marks or whatever else they did. While I'm thinking about it now, I'll show you the view from the front out, because I know you had asked for that, sorry. But I think that's what you were looking for. But then you've got the walkway, the little column, little garden area here, all very cute. All right, so back to the kitchen. You are correct, no microwave. These are like the laminate top countertops. Stove seems fine. Could use one more cleaning, but it's not like atrocious. I don't know that I would call it newer. I'm really bad at guessing age, but I'd guess probably 10 years. One thing I noticed in the bathrooms, well, was, and these are different. These are like the plasticky countertops. I'll talk about the ones in the bathrooms. I thought maybe they were the same. They're not. Dishwasher, for sure not newer. Well, I don't know, it doesn't look awful considering like I don't think that there's any water filtration that's gone through this house, but so it doesn't have a ton, but it definitely feels kind of like rental grade dishwasher. And then fridge. It's clean, it's cold. Don't know that I would call any of them new. The faucet definitely looks newer, only because it doesn't have a bunch of water buildup. Nice deep sink. This one is on a slab. And then you got the little pantry here. Hopefully I'm showing you guys what you want to see. Not super deep. Probably couldn't even fit a box of cereal. Maybe at most you could fit a box of cereal, depth-wise. Oh, you know, okay, now I take it back. I thought these were different than the bathroom, but they're not. So they've been wrapped is what they've done. Obviously some of them are better than others because like I would have thought this one was fine and like it was the actual like thing, cabinet door, but the bathroom has a lot of issues, at least one, and I'll pay attention as I go through again for the second one. I think you're gonna have a lot of cabinet issues here once they start peeling, if they start peeling. I don't know if you can see it, I can see it up here too, but that's not the way it opens from, so. All right. Hopefully that's good. Here's the view with the little like pass through. Very cute. Kitchen is a little small. Like 2 people in here may not be super comfortable for working, but it's not awful. It's got a lot of counter space. This is dining space. So they've got the cute little light. Probably would easily fit a table for 4. Maybe a table for 6. Could be doable. What I feel when I walk in here is like you lose a lot of space right here. Like I'm standing where your dining room table would go, so that's not space for that, but it's just a lot of like entryway space. And when you have a big house, you have a lot of entryway space that you can lose. But 1,600 square feet doesn't really, you know, because your table is going to be here. So then all of that entryway into the kitchen, into the hallway, you can't really do anything with it. So that's my thoughts. Really nice, weird mirrors. The pink wall has, I don't know if you'll see them. It's hard in this lighting. Spots, kind of all throughout. Along with the spots, there's also, it's not just like the paint. Like they have tried to retexture nail holes, but done it pretty poorly. So just lots of little all throughout texture and paint things. You asked about this tile. I have no idea. I can't imagine anything that makes sense as to why that was there originally. So it's just there. It is a little weird. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. There's a few other places, and I'll try and point them out as we go through, but like they're just not connected very well. I do find these windows a little weird, like the fact that they go all the way down to the ground. I don't know what you do with that. Like, I feel like that's also lost space. I don't think you can put a couch there and make it feel like it makes sense. Maybe you can. This is a big living room. So there's definitely ways that people can put their furniture, but I feel like that's kind of given up lost space also. And then there's one, I don't know if it'll show up here. Okay, hold on. There's weird stuff with the walls in another place too, and I don't know if it'll show up. I don't know if you can see like this line that goes down and it intersects this line that goes across. I think you can see like the drywall lines in certain places in certain lighting. That line that goes across the bottom, I can see it all the way across the wall that runs basically the length of it. That's why I think it's like where drywall gets connected. But then you can see that they've painted and they've painted. So where in pictures it probably looks like the paint is great. Ooh, I didn't catch this before. Also along the baseboard, oh, you're not gonna see it. They've painted and touched up paint all along. So just little things. I will go outside last, I think, but hopefully this covers what you wanted inside. Oh, I meant to also point out that the like brickwork in the kitchen is actually held up with push pins. So you can see the nice little plastic push pins holding it together. I'm sure you guys would take it down, so not a big deal. But let's see if I can show that. All along the top. So anyhow. All right. Coat closet here, very typical. First bedroom with the French doors. I would say you would struggle to get a queen size bed and much else in here. A full size bed is probably more appropriate. I don't know how much you want me to point out, or if you just want me to tell you the entire house has patches and paint and everything. So like every single wall, probably 100 things. This room also used to be like a pinkish mauve color, and you can see it showing through, and you can also just see it like all along the baseboards where it was painted really poorly, to the point where like this is like a 3D layer of paint that comes out. It's, you know, let me take that back. It looks like somebody ran their finger through it, like it's caulking maybe, and then they painted over it. That's probably more of what that is. So you've got some really messy things that have taken place. Also some like really weird patches where it feels like water intrusion marks more so, because they kind of bubble out and then paint over, but they're in places that don't make a lot of sense in this room. Like all of that to me, I don't think it's water intrusion. It makes no sense, and it doesn't start from the top, and it wouldn't start from this window and go up. It's another place where I think I see drywall connected. And then when I was down here, I could see it too. I don't know. No, I don't see it, but I did. So anyhow, I don't know what to make of it. It's just weird. This closet is bigger than I would expect it to be because it kind of goes like deep into this corner. So it looks pretty small, but it's okay. I haven't seen any evidence of water damage on any ceilings. I haven't seen any ceilings that look recently painted. Let's go into bathroom. Again, they just don't know how to like transition, so there's like a big gap between, and it's kind of loose. But tile floor. Vanity. This looks like a tile shower, but it's plastic. I came over here and I was like, what's going on with this? So they've tried to patch or repair this in some way, and I moved this and it's not even attached. I think this is a low spot, and so water sits here because it can't make it up and over and into that drain. So I think you need a new drain there ultimately. And I think it's a new drain already because it doesn't fill the space. Water corrosion is, typical. This is what I would expect of black faucets and features and this kind of water. Just a little bit of extra caulking. Again, somebody didn't really know what they're doing super well. Otherwise, toilet floor. Same thing, some wall stuff in here, not nearly as much as other places. Like I think there used to be a towel bar there. There is no longer. The fan does work, but it's noisy. So here's another place where I see drywall lines. The other place that I thought that I saw them was on the other side of this wall. I think it's really hard to get the right lighting. But right there. So I don't know if that was from when it was built. It doesn't make sense that there was like a flood and they would have had to cut out that much, not for this big of a space because it's throughout the house. So I have to assume it was from when it was built. I don't know, it's just weird. I'm just now noticing like this floor has like a lot of little like dent marks in it, and I don't know again if it'll show up, but they're all like the same shape. There you go. So I don't know what that's from, but it's kind of like a trail of it that goes through. This window caught my attention because oftentimes when the seal is broken, like you'll see a little bit of either rust or something or dust, kind of typical like this. Pretty common in older windows, but like this one just had like a lot of dirt. So we'll take a look at this one from the outside too, but like you can see the whole window moves from this side. The red paint, thought it was a nice touch. They did just the door, little slim line of it, not the whole door. Good sized room, queen bed, would fit in here pretty well. Still more paint stuff on the walls. They took a light down. They didn't really clean up around that very well when they replaced it. So, all right, into primary, the green room. So good sized room, king bed wouldn't be an issue. Paint, paint, paint. I think you can see it enough. There's this closet that has just the bar and that. I think at one point something else was attached here. I don't think that's like a cut through to another wall or anything. I think they just like took out something that was originally installed, like shelving like this. Slider to the backyard is super heavy, super hard to open. Probably just needs WD-40. I know we're not outside yet. The screen is all bent. Somebody like rescreened it maybe, but it's like not done well. So it's like loose and ripply. We'll go back in. Bathroom goes to what I think is the same tile in the other bathroom. Looks the same. I do think it's black grout. I've tried to see if there's any areas that like wouldn't have been exposed to like getting dirty, but like even underneath the cabinet, I think it's all black. So I don't think it just needs to be cleaned. I think it is just like the dark color. This shower should have a door and it doesn't, so they put a curtain. The tub is just fine from everything I can see. One single sink with like avocado green countertop is interesting. Nice big mirror. Their little fake plants. This is where I was starting to notice though the wrapping job on these. And so again, I just think throughout, if it's done to all of them, you're gonna have those issues. There is a second closet, some built-ins, definitely better space. Like a walk-in closet, just not super deep and weirdly shaped. So it's kind of very like, triangle-y floor shape to it. The lighting fixtures are all weird throughout the entire house. I mean, some are cute, some are just weird. I find it odd that like I felt like the house was clean and some things are like brand new like that, but then like it's really not clean. Like there's still like soap and stuff, and like some areas are just, I don't think it was professionally cleaned, but it's fairly clean. This toilet, I don't know if you'll see how much it moves. probably can move it like a good 4 inches from side to side, so it's not set very well. All right, let's go to the garage. I think it was all like in caps that the washer and dryer do not stay with this home when I looked at the listing. These are interesting because they're also wrapped, but like with like paper. It's like how you would like cover a book. And then they just like screwed it into place. So that was interesting to me. This sink is not attached to the back wall at all. So that one's weird. It's nice to have. It just needs to be, I don't know why it would be detached. Maybe when they were painting and then they just didn't reattach it. That would actually make more sense now that I say it out loud. The floor in here is finished, like painted. Maybe it's epoxy. I have a hard time telling if it's that or just paint. The walls are finished. You've got storage up above. Garage door opener. I don't think it's new, but I don't think it's, it could be original. I have a hard time guessing that. More storage. 2-car garage, but it's got probably 1.5 feet on either side of the doors to open, just so you know, extra space. I'll show you that as I go out. I do think the furnace is newer, based on the condenser and the way it looks outside and this unit here. I also think the water heater is new-ish, hard to say. What I don't like is that this is on plywood, because you don't know if the drywall behind it is a full sheet of drywall or if it's been cut through. And typically for the furnace and stuff, there has to be a cut through for like the vents to go. But this should also be like a fire rated material if that isn't fully back there. But when you can't see that, you can't tell. So you may end up like covering over this with something, if you were concerned about safety purposes, that is fire rated, not just wood. Kind of same with that. That shouldn't be just a wood access unless the firewall starts here and goes up, in which case that doesn't need to be fire rated. A home inspector should be able to tell you that. So a little bit of over on each side is nice. All right, let's go outside.